Hi, I am Nick D. Clements, and I used to make stuff like this. So I don't have a lot of time. I'm on my lunch break from work. But just because I don't have a lot of time doesn't mean I'm not going to put in some extra effort and take a few extra steps to make a superior sandwich. So the extra step for the foundation, for the prep work of this video, I just finished watching the SkillShare course. It's 10 p.m. My wife's already asleep, so I can't actually work on the real video, this video. So I'm just sitting here in my PJs writing a script so that I can work on it tomorrow when I come home for lunch right now. There's porcupines on them. My mom made them. Now, I don't have much time to make a sandwich, but I also feel like I don't have a lot of time to make and publish this video. I really want to be one of the first to do so I can get Jazza's feedback. If you're watching this not on Skillshare, this was a homework assignment for Jazza's How to Talk to Camera course. All the same, the extra step for my sandwich is buttering or margarining the bread and then frying it. We actually used to get the Meyer brand butter, but they stopped selling it, so we get this now. Also, yes, Christmas decorations are still up, but Mariah Carey said we can leave them up till July 4th, so I'm good with that for this year. Because again, short on time. Taking down Christmas decorations.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Alright, so I'll set my knife aside for later. Stove on. Frying the bread just gives it such a great texture and just adds so much taste. So it really is worth doing even if you don't have much time. So while the bread is still frying, the foundation is still being worked on. I'm actually going to start working on the content of the sandwich. So I'm going to take the butter back to the fridge and grab the meats and stuff. Now I could have grabbed that when I got the butter, and when you're short on time, optimizing trips to the fridge is a goal. But there's also something to be said for taking on too much at one time. Like this video! No, I can do it. PMA, positive mental attitude. My P's off. Fridge. This is my setup. This is where I spend a lot of my time, actually. As you can tell, I collect Batman figures, but this is where I do editing. I use Premiere and the rest of the Adobe suite. And I do take full advantage of all these ridiculous monitors. And while your workspace is always evolving, right now I like a full screen timeline. I have my effects and effects controls on the left, preview monitor and Windows file browsing on the right, and then the Premiere project files up top. And that's been working really well. This is also where I record my backdrop shots, my directly to camera talks. Right now I have a camera and a light just rigged on some boom stands. I don't know if I really like this setup, but it kind of seems to work. I mean, they're easy to adjust, and then I can just kind of pull them out when I don't need them or when I just want them gone. And I don't have a lot of tripod legs everywhere, so it's working for now. And then of course the backdrop is right in front of you. Pull it down when I need it, put it back up when I don't. And I think it's also worth noting that my wife's computer is right there. So even though we're on our screens and in our own virtual world, we're still physically together, still spending time together. Just something to think about in our digital world these days. I've also been trying out this little teleprompter from a company called Parrot. And it just attaches to your lens through a bunch of supplied adapters, and then you use an app on your phone and the optional remote to run the words. Now it is nice because it's a very small size, so your eyes don't drift off from the center of the lens very much, but you can usually still tell when someone's reading off this teleprompter. It's actually really fascinating to me how you can, if I'm looking dead center on the lens and I just look slightly off, like you can pick up on the movement and just tell that I'm not looking here, but I'm looking here. And it's so subtle, but we can see that, and that, that kind of blows my mind sometimes. Also, yes, that is indeed a Huey on tablet, and I can't even draw, but thanks to Jazza, I bought one. But no, I want to learn to draw, and actually it's very handy when working in Photoshop and cropping and all that other fun stuff. It's on an arm, so it goes like this. But it doesn't go down far enough, which is a common problem apparently. Also, I really like this pistol grip style tripod head. Definitely over your standard bar handle. I've had one for a long time and I've really gotten used to it. It did wear out a bit because I used a much heavier camera than it was rated for, but I recently got 2 more and I'm probably gonna get a bunch and upgrade every tripod I own with one. They're nice in really compact spaces and I just feel like I get more control. However, the plate on this one blocks the door, which is a problem with most tripods. So I'll probably have to come up with something so I can, keep the plate on but still open the door. That's a future project. Contents for today's sandwich are chicken, salami, Swiss, lettuce, and a microphone. Actually, I record on this. It's called a Mic Me. And it's a failed Kickstarter, but successfully funded on Indigo, but took 2 years to deliver, high-quality, Bluetooth, app-enabled wireless microphone that has a really weird battery that will deep drain, causing it to no longer charge. So you have to do a factory reset to get it to charge, which it will, but then it won't record anymore. So you email support, and they won't email you back right away. And when they do, they ask you questions that you already answered in your email, so you have to go through another round of emails to get them to just basically tell you you need to send it back. So actually, I'm recording on the always reliable H4n, except when you forget to hit the record button twice. Of which I own 3, this one, that one, and a third one, which someone else currently illegally possesses. They stole it. But even though my bread isn't done yet, I'm gonna start building the inside of the sandwich. So once it is done, all I have to do is just place it in the bun, and I'm good to go. I'm using a paper plate, so I'm actually gonna start with the meats, because I don't want the cheese to melt or stick to the paper. So I'm just gonna put down a layer of salami, and throw in some chicken. I love it all. And then a little bit more salami. Slice of good old Swiss. And some nice crunchy lettuce. Alright, one final trip to the fridge to return this stuff and grab the condiments. So for my sandwiches, I like some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce and just a little bit of mayo. Now I'll just take my perfectly browned bread and, well, you see, I'm not usually trying to make a video and a sandwich at the same time. Now I'll take my perfectly browned bread off the pan. Hit one half with some barbecue sauce, the other half just a little mayo, and again, taking some extra time to just spread it across the bun. Grab my entire stack of content, place it on the foundation, and cap it off. So now I'll take my final trip to the fridge, return the condiments, grab a drink, and sit down and enjoy. All right. Now, what makes a great sandwich taste even better? Well, eating it while watching your favorite YouTuber, Jacksepticeye. Oh, it's 11:58. I'm 2 minutes early. Well, I can't eat without something to watch. That's madness. Well, I guess I might as well just import footage while I'm waiting. So I like to try and stay as organized as possible. So I start by importing footage from each different camera into its own folder. And once everything's imported, I like to go in further and simplify the naming. And especially when you have a lot of files to rename, an invaluable program to have is a little one called Better File Rename. And it does exactly what it says. It lets you mass rename files and folders and is extremely helpful. So for
footage from my Mark II. I just usually call it Mark _ and then it'll regenerate the number sequence. And just like that, everything's renamed. Quick and easy. One other super useful piece of software, especially if you're doing a multi-camera edit or have separately recorded audio, is Pluralize. Pluralize is a program that will just sync all of your stuff. You can run it as a standalone program or as a plugin directly in Premiere. Right now my workflow works better just using the standalone version. But literally all you have to do is drop your footage into the program, wait a few seconds for it to process everything, and then just hit the synchronize button. And in really no time at all of your clips and audio will be perfectly synchronized with absolutely zero effort. If you've ever manually synchronized footage and audio, you know what an absolute nightmare it is. And if you've never seen or tried Pluralize before, you absolutely must. I can't recommend it enough, because just like that, it's now ready for editing. And all that's left to do is export the timeline. You can export it for various editors. For me, Premiere Pro, export. And now all we have to do is open this XML in Premiere. And all the footage gets loaded into Premiere. It begins conforming everything, and we have all of our footage synced in a sequence, ready to go. Now, I don't want to leave you like Adam Sandler in Spanglish and never actually take a bite of the sandwich, so...
Welcome back to Subnautica, but not only any Subnautica, this is the full release of Subnautica. It has finally left early access, no more betas, no more alphas, nothing like that. This is the full public release of the game. It's finally finished, or into a state where the game is...
So that's my Jazza sandwich. This SkillShare course really came at a great time, because I've been working for a couple months now, really trying to gear up and get my channel started. I mean, I've been thinking about it for years, and at the beginning of this year, I really tried to set some goals that I wanted to do it by January, and January didn't happen, and then February went by. I've still been working behind the scenes, getting ready to publish the first video. But when I saw the course, and whether I feel like I needed any of that information or not, I mean, you can always learn more. And then just the part about doing this little assignment, it just felt like a great opportunity just to get some feedback from someone who does this all the time, and someone that I've really enjoyed watching. I found Jazza's, I can tell you the exact day I found Jazza's contents, thanks to Google History. July 7th, 2017, I saw the the 4-color clicky pen, which I loved those as a kid. And I clicked on that video, and then I just started binging. I think I watched the whiteout one next. And then I told my wife about some of his videos, and before you know it, Jazza was just a part of our lives from that point forward. And it's just so interesting how that can happen. These YouTubers and the way that they, enter in your lives, and they can have a really big impact on what you do. Making this entire video, for instance, I wouldn't be doing any of this had I not clicked on a video, last July. So directly to you, Jazza, thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for making the SkillShare course, and just thank you for making such entertaining content. Thank you for the motivation to do this, to try and actually get some of your feedback, which I can't thank you enough for, even if it's nothing more than a word or two. Thank you. And to everyone in the SkillShare course, and anyone who may see this video in the future, my sincere thank you for watching. Once again, I am Nick D. Clements. If you're wondering, the Nick is short for Nicholas, and the D stands for David. Anyway, I'm off to make something else. Stuff, and I blah 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 blah.